With the NBA playoff seeding games having finally concluded, we can finally now look into the playoffs. My condolences to the Suns organization and to the Suns fans. I feel like if they had just made it, man, they would have made such a deep run in the playoffs.
Cap.
Now, on a serious note, I want to go over each of the matchups going into the playoffs and evaluate who's going to win to possibly help the bettors out there and help the fans kind of understand what they're going into as these playoffs are about to begin. And I noticed that over the years, there's certain shows that cover the NBA tend not to talk about all the teams involved in the playoffs.
Bro said, I told y'all I'm the baddest man on the planet. Of 7 billion people that breathe oxygen, nobody can touch me on this basketball court. So Kevin Durant. LeBron's not going to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. He's going to 8 straight finals. Skip, she held him up like this here and say, behold, doctors, this is going to be the greatest basketball player to ever live.
The first matchup I'm going to look into is the Jazz versus the Nuggets in the first round. Don't let the seeding fool you in this matchup. The Nuggets are the 3rd seed while the Jazz are the 6th seed, but by any means, they're really only separated by a game and a half. That goes to show you how competitive it is in the Western Conference. In their matchups this season, the Nuggets have won all 3 of their regular season matchups, but all of those games were really close, including the August 8th, the most recent game that went into double overtime.
And make it a free throw game. He cannot advance the ball as Mitchell with the 3.
Mitchell gets the 3! Utah, Donovan Mitchell. Works by the defense, takes it down, got the layup and puts it through.
Now, I will point out that both of these teams look a little differently than they did before quarantine. The Jazz are missing Bogdanovich. In my opinion, I believe the Nuggets actually got better with the emergence of Michael Porter and with the level of play that Bobo has shown us throughout the bubble games. All signs are pointing towards the Nuggets winning this series. Now, if we take a deeper look at both of these teams, both the Jazz and the Nuggets score around the same rate, around 111 points per game, and they give up around the same in terms of points that the opponent scores against them. So they're pretty neck and neck when it comes to both offensive and defensive abilities. But what I start liking the Nuggets a lot more is they seem to be the better fundamentally sound team. They turn over the ball at a lower rate than the Utah Jazz, and they're also one of the best passing teams in the entire league. I mean, almost 27 assists a game, the whole team be dropping dimes. It's crazy to think that some of their best passers are their big men. Now, what the Jazz do have going for them is they're one of the best, if not the best team when it comes to shooting 3-pointers. Yes, the Utah Jazz shoot around 38% from the 3-point line. And if you saw the August 8 matchup between the Nuggets and the Jazz, you would realize something. They're going to rely a lot on their guard play when it comes to producing points for their offense. Jordan Clarkson and Mike Conley have proven to be effective scorers against the Nuggets in the matchups that they have had. And they are going to rely heavily on the young Donovan Mitchell in order to make their way out of this round of the playoffs. To put it very simply, the Nuggets have a very deep roster, and if Will Barton were to return, they have 6 or 7 players on their roster that could literally drop 15 to 20 points on any given night. And outside of just the emergence of Michael Porter, I think that this slimmer version of Nikola Jokic is going to be a matchup nightmare for anybody in the league, even for an elite defender like Rudy Gobert. I think their passing, their size, and their overall depth of their roster is going to be too much for the Utah Jazz to handle in a 7-game series. Overall, with the emergence of Bobo and Michael Porter, and the fact that the Jazz lost an intricate part of their team in Bogdanovich, I am going to go ahead and say that the Nuggets are going to win this series in 6 games. Originally, I was going to say Nuggets in 7, but since there is no home court advantage in this playoff series, I can't really see the Utah Jazz winning more than 2 games. The Jazz have a fairly similar team to the one they had last year in the playoffs, and that team didn't really perform that well, and they were pretty underwhelming in the playoffs, so I'm feeling pretty good about my pick. So that's my outlook on the Jazz versus the Nuggets. I'm really looking forward to this playoffs. I'm gonna have videos dropping on each of the matchups of this playoffs. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna see you all in the next one.
But if she like ya, she gon' run that check up like a wife do. And you know it, and she gon' blow it on me. Majima, that's me. Majima the king, the grand is my scene. But I'm coming to